If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over. Move forward. Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, has Jerry Nadler of New York, the congressman, longtime one, has he lost his mind? It really is incredible. Just a little bit ago, he seems to be making comments that I believe on the Rita Cosby Show here are very incendiary, very insightful in terms of inciting individuals. Listen to what he had to say, because, of course, we know now that the government has reopened. The votes were there. Thank goodness for that. But now there will be a 2-week period where Washington and the rest of the country will, of course, be talking about ICE. And the Democrats want to defund ICE. They want to stop deportations, even of criminal migrants, mind you. And Jerry Nadler actually had to say this about the brave men and women working in immigration and customs enforcement. Listen to what he said and tell me how reckless you think this is.
But what is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person.
That
to protect yourself
is a shocking comment. And you heard how we kind of just waited, to protect yourself. First of all, to say that about ICE, to say that you would be justified in shooting ICE, has he lost his mind? That's a serious question, because that is a completely reckless and ridiculous statement. And at a time where tensions are high and attacks against ICE agents at an all-time high, where death threats against ICE agents are 8,000% increase, this is deeply, deeply concerning. Here is Congresswoman Sarah McBride, Democrat from Delaware, the state of Joe Biden. And she's saying that Kristi Noem needs to be fired, and listen to what else she wants to happen.
If Donald Trump does not fire Kristi Noem this week, then House Democrats will move to begin impeachment proceedings against her next week when we return to session. The House is currently out of session this week. I'm down in Sussex County today, a county with a significant immigrant population. But regardless of where I am in Delaware, red areas or blue areas, one of the things that I most consistently hear from constituents, people who hold a range of positions on immigration policy, is that they are outraged and disgusted by what they are seeing unfold before their very eyes. The abridgment of due process for our immigrant neighbors. The killing, the murder of American citizens in our streets. ICE and CBP are out of control. And it's one of the reasons why I voted against the DHS funding bill last week. It's why I was one of the first House Democrats to endorse impeachment of Kristi Noem, and why I was an original co-sponsor of the articles of impeachment weeks ago. Since then, 2/3 of my House Democratic colleagues have joined on as co-sponsors, and just yesterday, House Democratic leadership endorsed impeachment proceedings against Kristi Noem. We have a lot on our plate to stop the cruelty in our streets and in our communities. There are conversations around funding and structural reforms that have to move forward, and we have to be forceful and bold. But we cannot have a conversation around accountability if we do not begin with the agents and the leaders of DHS who have made this violence possible. Right now, masked agents are murdering people in the streets, and their leaders are covering up for them and lying to the American people, all seemingly with impunity. That gives a license for more violence. Kristi Noem has to be out of a job. These agents have to be out of a job and held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Anything short of that, gives a license to others to commit violence. We have to be clear and decisive in this moment as elected officials, as Americans, that this kind of violence, the violation of freedom and rights that we are seeing over the last year, not just the last few weeks, is unacceptable and un-American. This is not about immigration. This is not about law enforcement. This is about masked paramilitary forces terrorizing communities, intimidating our neighbors. All for a single man and his very fragile ego.
That is shocking. You heard what she said. If Kristi Noem doesn't get fired this week, they're going to start impeachment proceedings against her next week. These people, can you imagine if the Democrats end up winning the House in the midterms, and there's a good chance they could, just because historically the party that is not in the White House typically wins during midterm elections, which is why President Trump's getting out there like the Energizer Bunny this year. There's no doubt he has to, because he'll drive people to the polls more than members of Congress will. Because, of course, it's the Senate and the House that's at stake. But it's also Trump's agenda that's at stake, because they clearly will put roadblocks every single different direction if indeed they get the House and Senate. If they get the House, they can impeach. You know, if they have an overwhelming or at least even a slimmest of majorities, they can impeach. Then they can send it to the Senate. If they don't have the Senate, it dies. But just think about it. Alejandro Mayorkas was not removed. If anybody deserved to be removed from office, it was Alejandro Mayorkas. And yet they're going after Kristi Noem. And you can bet that list will not stop at Kristi Noem. They probably have a list of dozens, I bet you. Stephen Miller, I'm sure, is on that list too, knowing the Democrats, because they seem to be making him the new villain du jour.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.